Hey guys, it's me, Python Crash Course, Lesson 18, Functions Part 2, Default Arguments, and this thing called args. You usually see args and kwargs. I'll do kwargs next, which is keyword arguments, and args it's a type of convention, but hold on, I'll get to it. This is a default argument, meaning if I don't pass in a value to B, then B just takes that default value. I think we all know that from C++. The problem here is, and this is, a contrived example, no doubt, but let's say I have a function where I want to add a number of arguments. In this case I have 2, but what if, oh my gosh, I need to add 3 things? And God forbid, I might have to add like 4 things. Well, I know some of you are saying, well, just pass in a list, dude. You're right, we could pass in a list. And that's a good solution. But Python does have this convention called args that will let us do something a little cooler. So let's call this one super add. And instead of passing in 4 parameters with maybe default arguments, I'm just going to put this word called args, which is not a reserved word, by the way. It is just a convention that people tend to use this name. So the asterisk does kind of dereference this in a way. It says, hey, when you pass in multiple arguments, we're going to throw them all into this thing and make a list. So for example, down here we could say super add, and we can pass in an arbitrary number of arguments, and we're going to make super add handle, doesn't matter, however many I want to pass in. So let's say answer is equal to 0, and then I'll just loop through args for a in args answer plus equals a, and then we return the answer. If I run my program, you can see I was having some issues earlier because I'm not paying attention. There, we get our answer, 32, and I'm assuming that's correct with all those. So that's pretty cool, right? That means we can have a variable number of arguments. Also, we could make it so that you have what are called positional arguments. For example, I could have to pass in, I could make it so that the first parameter is like, I don't know, some function name. And so I could pass in a function, and we could call this like super method. And I don't know, if it was a string, maybe I could say, all right, run the power function on all of these values. And we could have a big long list. But this is what we call a positional argument. So the first argument or parameter that gets passed in will go into a positional argument, and anything remaining, meaning all of these, will get stuck into our list, and we can process all of them. But here's something even cooler. I don't know that all of you know that like Python can do this, but I got math being imported, and then in math we have like math.power, which takes a base and an exponent, and it just returns the base raised to the exponent. But check this out. Let's say I passed in math.pow to our super method, pass it into function, and then I said answer is equal to, we call the function, and we just pass the value to it. Problem is, the power method needs a base. So let's say the next parameter can be whatever we want to be as our base. I don't know. We can just say function param. So what's going to happen is we're going to say param. No, let's do it the other way. A comma. Okay, this is okay. It's not doing anything useful at all. I'm just trying to show you. You literally can pass a function into a variable and then use that variable as the function. And we should still get an answer. My syntax may be off. It's not. So is the answer useful? Nope. But I did show you how we could use args, which is a variable number of arguments, and I discussed positional arguments, and I also showed you how to pass another function in as a parameter, and then we called that function. This is really cool stuff. See you in a minute.